Yeah.
This is a ride to work again.
Yes, sir. It's your boy DJ Easy.
Dogfist.
My bad. Dogfist. Absolutely, man. No, man. So I think it was cool to give an introduction of what the fuck we're trying to do here. So I moved to Maryland. It's for a new job. It's one of my best friends over here, and we've been carpooling, but we've been having our own conversations while we carpool, right? And these conversations have been, I mean, you can talk to me, bro. I think they've been fucking phenomenal. From dad talk, adulting, to reminiscing about college, to everything, man.
Absolutely.
But we decided to kind of come together and create this piece and make it into like an actual podcast, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So this is the ride to work with two dads, yo. I don't know what we're gonna call it yet, but it's the ride to work, man. We got like 45 minutes. It's probably not gonna be 45 minutes because we gotta keep it PG, and a lot of our conversations be sometimes a little R,
Yeah.
So
we ain't trying to get in trouble out here.
No. But we'll definitely come up with something. But yeah, man, what are you gonna talk about today? It's crazy.
I was actually going to talk about expectations. Like, as you know, I just dropped my daughter off.
Nice.
And I told him, why didn't you get the car ready? He was like, you should have told me expectations beforehand so you wouldn't be disappointed.
True.
And I was like, yo, that is so true.
That's facts.
Expectations.
It's the idea of communicating your expectations, like, you know what I'm saying? So if you decide that you want something, or you're expecting something from your friend, your relationship, or something like that, man, this idea is like to make sure that they know that what your expectations are, because you can't just I think you can't just assume that a person's just gonna know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really feel that way. Now, it might be people out there who fucking, who don't know what to do in a lot of situations, man. So you gotta really tell them what to do, and sometimes you gotta show them what to do too.
Absolutely.
Like, how am I supposed to do something if I didn't know that you were expecting me to do it? You know what I mean? Now you walking outside looking like you disappointed in the brother for not turning the car around. I didn't even know to do it.
Right.
Like, so,
clearly, I didn't want him to turn the car around. I was just making a joke.
I know,
but he's
but
always so quick with the responses. I make it amazing.
Yeah, I took it serious, man.
Right.
Shit, because I have no problem turning the car around.
Right.
I have no problem, like, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you gotta let a nigga know. And when you do it so much, right, then it becomes like second nature, right? So it's like, even if you're in a relationship with your lady, like, if she expresses her expectations of you to do certain things, you know what I'm saying, and you're not used to them, you're gonna have an issue there, right? Because it's not second nature to you. You feel me? But if you continue to work on that, and those expectations are still outlined for you to look at and whatever, and you get in the hang of it, like, the more you do it, the less she'll, in theory, the more you do it, the less she'll have to tell you, or your friend will have to tell you, because they already expect you to do it. And now you know what you were expected to do, and you're okay with it, and now it's normal to you. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be able to do it more. But getting to that normal part is the hardest part.
Well, and also, to be fair, there's a part level expectation. Like, it is also good and nice to hear a compliment to the expectation that you do. It's like, once I've done that expectation for you, thank you. That reassurance that you're doing it and helping them. Or,
True.
Getting that feedback. That helps you to motivate you to want to continue doing it.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
However, just because you do it a million times and that one time you don't do it, that does not give anyone the right to say, you don't do anything for me, you never do this for me, because we are all humans. We do sometimes get in our feelings or forget, and we don't do it. Doesn't mean that we're not the same great person we've been.
Absolutely.
And that's something to also keep in mind,
No, I definitely agree with that, because sometimes, man, people just worry about the one time you said no, like, or the one time you forget. You know what I'm saying? And I think if anybody doing that to their significant other, man, guy, girl, he, she, whatever your pronoun is, man, I think it's manipulating the situation. and it's taken away from all the things in which that person has done and or worked on to get to that point to begin with. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? If I'm doing something that you would like for me to do, and you expressed this through you communicated your expectations, it was not normal to me, and I worked hard to get to the point where it's normal to me, and I'm doing it, and one time I forget, and you literally rip me a new one for it, I think that, to me, is just not cool.
Right. However, before we get to all expectations, you can tell me all the expectations you want, but there's a powerful word.
Yes.
There is a powerful
I
word.
know where you're
If
going.
it's not vibing with it, it's called no.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's called no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, I'm not interested in it. So as much we can advocate our expectations, if it does not, cohesive with the relationship or cohesive with what the person wants to do, understand no, and that expectation may not and will not be met by that person.
Yeah.
And you may have to find another compromise or another way to get your expectation met.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you that. I was like, so if it's a no to the expectations, how do you compromise in that situation? Because when you're in a relationship with someone, compromising is an actual thing, right?
Yeah.
So if they express to you their expectation of X, Y, and Z, and you say no to X, Y, and Z, how do you meet them in the middle for that expectation?
All right, so here's this part. For me, I'm a little militant. So the thing is, it's like, stand for nothing, fall for everything. And I'm not about that mindset. So I'm gonna give my best effort. But there's only be a point where if I feel like I'm giving and I'm not receiving what enough, or let's say that fuel to keep me giving to you, and that's one of my expectations, but you're saying no to my expectation, but I'm saying yes to yours, then maybe I have to pull back. I'm gonna let you know, because silently in the past, I would have been like, you know what, I'm gonna pull back, not give you what you need, and be like, that's fair. But now for me, I'm gonna say, hey, honestly, I'm not gonna do this all the time, because my expectations, my need, my fuel that I need from you, whatever it might be, is not being met. And so I need to pull back, because this is making me frustrated. It's making me frustrated. It's making me not be myself. And
Gotcha.
You might not like what happens if I continue doing this.
Gotcha.
And that's how I look at it.
So it's the idea of like a give and take situation.
It is absolutely a give and take situation.
Gotcha. And what about when you are getting exactly what you are getting, or exactly what you're wanting, you come across an expectation from your partner where it's like, you're like, in your mind you're saying no, but at the same time you also want to meet her in the middle if you can. How do you go about that?
I look at it for the greater good, man. It's like, so there's a lot of times where I feel like people want to be right. The male wants to be right, the female wants to be right, or your partner wants to be right. I don't really care about that. I want our relationship to be right.
Yeah.
And so there's times that you do things for the greater good for your relationship.
Yeah.
It may not be something that you're 100% on board with, but you know what? It brings cohesion and it keeps balance in your relationship.
Gotcha.
I'll take that step.
Gotcha. I respect that.
And that's what she expects me to be, a leader or a lead in.
Okay.
So.
No, I definitely get it.
And for you?
For me, I think I'm on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Where if her expectation is something I'm like, absolutely not. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Why is she expecting me to do this? Sometimes you got to reflect and say, what is going to really work for our relationship? You know what I'm saying? And not just be doing something just because your partner wants you to do it, but at the same time have some type of backup where it is conducive to your relationship.
Right.
And it doesn't help your relationship in a way if you don't do it. It actually hurts your relationship. So if it's going to hurt your relationship in a way where it has whatever impact on your relationship, then you got to figure out whether or not it's something that you should actually do and meet in the middle. So I definitely agree with you. I feel the same way, because there's going to be certain things that your partner may not want to do for you. And there's going to be certain things that I'm not going to want to do for my partner, but if it's conducive to our relationship, then we got to somehow meet in the middle and figure out how we can work around this idea that either one of us don't want to do what we want to do for each other.
Right.
So it's definitely a give and take, and it's definitely a reflection. But at the same time, man, those are the type of conversations I personally think gotta happen as a team. You know what I mean? So it's
and it does not begin just when a life-changing event happens. So you gotta search what life-changing events mean. We get into multiple of those, but it's just like it has to start when the relationship starts, when you guys are actually serious, maybe 3 to 4 months or 5 months into a relationship where you're like, yo, I'm with this person, let's have these conversations now.
No, I definitely agree, man. It's like I said before, man, I really feel like it's a give and take. But those expectations, dude, those expectations being communicated is very, very huge. And some people may get tired of communicating the expectations, but it depends on how long it's been, I think, and it depends on what everything else in the relationship. You might be saying, I expect you to do this, I expect you to do this, I expect you to do this. If the person is doing 6 out of 7 items on your expectation list, you know what I'm saying, and they're struggling with one,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to let that one slide.
Come on, man. You gotta let a brother.
You gotta let that slide.
Brother ain't perfect, man. You can't get a 7 out of 7 every time. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, you gotta give yourself grace. I think even with the list of expectations, you gotta give your partner grace. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're completely 0 out of 7. If you're not doing any of the expectations, then your grace, you don't deserve the grace. In my book.
Funny story.
You know,
my wife and my niece was in my car. My niece asked me, "Hey, can I eat in your car?" It's like, I know you can't eat in my car. And I was like, no, you can't. And then my wife looked at me.
Well, you can't eat in here?
Hear me out. Right. Hear me out. And I was like, I think I said, yeah, you can eat. Like, no, you can't eat in the car. And my wife turned and looked at me. Looks like James was looking at me and was like, wait, I eat in your car all the time. And I was like, yeah, I know. But you never say anything to me about it. That's because I allow it, because you're my wife. And although you do throw crumbs and everything, it gets on my nerve, but I allow it or accept that that's you. And I'm willing to accept that.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I get it.
So even with my best friend, he's in my car. He has no question. Like other people, nah, you ain't in my car.
Give and take, man. Give and take. Giving grace, yo.
And then what she realizes, oh wow, he really made that change for me. She actually told me maybe I shouldn't be so serious about one of these things that she doesn't like, or expectations of mine that she, maybe I could loosen up on it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, man, they might give you some type of another perspective that allows you to think, hey, my expectations are a little too rigid, or they're not thought out, and you may think of a whole new expectation that actually is more thorough, that allows the both of you to reach what you need to reach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why communicating it that way is cool too. Not just communicating what you expect someone to do for you, but communicating in a way that also, if you can get some feedback from your partner to figure out what this expectation really means and how it's conducive to your relationship, is something that is important too, I think. You know what I'm saying? But think about it, if you don't do any of it though, if you just don't say anything, and you just expect someone to just do what you want them to do, then you're going to be disappointed.
Every time. You're going to be playing the worst movie in your head every day, all the day, thinking about what they're not doing, how they're not doing it for you, how they're doing it wrong, all the time. Mm-hmm. And they have no idea, no clue. They're living their life, but you are living the most miserable part of you, because you're not communicating. And before you communicate, I think the most important thing is understand how you communicate, what you're communicating. Words are very important. If you want to be with this person, do not communicate in a way that's going to throw them away the next second once all those words come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
You need to show your true feelings, express them in a productive and healthy way, as if you were talking to a coworker or a doctor that's trying to help you. Be like, hey, I'm going through this. This is my expectation. Can we sit down and talk about it?
Yeah.
Because that's one thing that is toxic that everyone does or tries to do, is just blurt out their anger and issues versus communicate it in a decent way that everyone can reciprocate it and understand.
Yeah, I agree with that too, man. It is not easy. I know that's not easy. I've been in situations where, you know, I'm barking, right, and I'm getting barked at, and as a man, and as like where I'm from, like, you know what I'm saying, not just where I'm from, but how I'm raised. You know, when you get barked at, you're more than likely going to bark back. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a level of toxicity there that is just not, again, not conducive to what you're trying to figure out. And really just gotta, when you come in those situations, you kind of just gotta let them joints go and revisit what you're really trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes down to something that you were expecting from your partner and it's important to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult, man. And I think a lot of relationships, I mean, people are affected by this in their relationship too, man. I mean, I definitely am. Shit, we're having this conversation because you said something along the lines of, hey, why didn't you turn the car around? Well, like, you could have turned the car around and we could have been out of here quicker. Well, my man, it's like, you ain't, this your car, bro.
Right.
This
I'm not reading my mind.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to read your mind and let me, like, nah, man, voice your expectations, and then I'll be like, all right, bet, I got you. Because why would I not move the car around? You know what I'm saying? So it's,
and at the same time, we ain't in a rush. We going to the same place. We ain't late.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I mean, but it's definitely a learning experience. But I kid you not, man, if you're expecting your partner to just read your mind and get it right,
it ain't happening.
It ain't happening, man. Like, it's just not. Or the chances of it happening is just not going to happen unless you dated someone previously and they're exactly the same, you know, person that you're dating, and you know exactly what to do. But it's hard.
I don't know about that, because then that's going to probably end exactly the same way it ended.
Trying to figure out like how it could work. I can't come up with an idea. You guys let us know. Like, how can you not voice your expectations for your partner and it be a positive relationship and not leading to any difficulties in your relationship? You let us know. Because I'm stumped. I don't know how it will work. I can't read minds, and I'm not trying to just do process of elimination. You know what I'm saying? I want you to tell me exactly what you're expecting from me, so I can figure out if I can give it to you, and
be willing to hear those answers or responses of no.
Absolutely. But when you say no, it's on the other side of that too, right? Mm-hmm. So if somebody's telling me their expectations and I say no, like no, you also have to be, when you say no, you also have to be ready to be like, can we do something else? Or what's a better idea that can be, or meet us in the middle? So when you're saying no, you got to be willing to also communicate a compromise so that the expectation can be met in the middle.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're telling someone the expectation, you have to be ready for them to say yes and for them to say absolutely not. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it goes both ways, and I definitely agree. Hell yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think I saw this on Instagram a long time ago, and the guy mentioned that one of the biggest reasons why people get divorced is they lack the communication of their expectations, not for cheating or not for financial issues or anything like that, but the idea that they lack the communication in regards to their expectations. That's one of the main reasons why people lead to divorce. You know what I mean? As soon as I saw it, I was like, yo, that makes complete sense. It makes complete sense.
But everything works together, so it's not just this is the solution.
Oh no, absolutely not the solution.
But this is a significant component.
But for sure, because like if I'm supposed to be providing in a way, and my partner's supposed to be helping me out too. How do we do that without telling each other what it is?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I almost related to That's related to, like, I don't know, kissing a girl or kissing your another person, right? Every person is not the same. They're not going to kiss the same. So if I'm kissing a young lady and she is all over the place, and my expectations was for her not to be all over the place, I'm gonna say, hey, listen,
right.
I kiss over here. I'm expecting you to like be a little chiller on the kissing side.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
There's
but if you
levels to
don't
it.
say anything, if you don't say, yo, you'll be kissing all over the place, and you know that you don't like it, it's like you don't get what you want or you don't get what you need, and you're dealing with something that is just not conducive to you. You know what I'm saying? So you losing out too, like literally. If you don't outline the things in which you need.
And honestly, I think some of the expectations, you really have to evaluate them for wants versus need, and and sometimes, what's that word? Ridiculous or extreme expectations.
Yeah.
Like, let's be realistic about our expectations.
Yes.
You really have to evaluate them.
Yep.
Now,
I agree.
don't bring some crazy stuff to a person and be like, we're not on that level. How are you going to expect that?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. How you gonna expect me to pay your rent? We just met 2 minutes ago. You know, like stuff like that.
Right,
you know?
right. Pay for your lifestyle.
Maybe.
And I don't even know what you do.
Yeah. Make sure your expectations are like related to the relationship that you're currently in. If you met 5 minutes ago, don't be out there listing out expectations outside of, hey, I'm expecting you to respect me as a person, X, Y, and Z. Don't be giving out them expectations to walk my dog every day, and I just met you 5 minutes ago. You know,
Absolutely.
gotta be within the realm of what the relationship is, and those expectations can change over time.
Correct. And it should be something that's willing or to communicate about, not force stuff on a person.
Absolutely.
And it goes both ways.
Absolutely, 100%.
So,
Your expectation on year 1 might be completely off the table on year 3. You know, they can change every day, but they won't get done if you don't speak about it. if you don't communicate it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? To a point that makes the other person comfortable to doing it for you, and you got.